ladies and gentlemen. You're watching, yes, the Yankees Entertainment and Sports Network.
From sunrise to sunset, yes, is the place for the New York Yankees. And today, the Philadelphia Phillies have made their way over from Clearwater and brought some of their big stars as well. Should be a good one on a Saturday afternoon in Tampa. New York Yankees baseball is presented by Verizon Fios. And this afternoon, it's the New York Yankees against the Philadelphia Phillies in an exhibition game from George M. Steinbrenner Field here in Tampa, Florida. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Yankees Baseball along with Ken Singleton. I'm Michael Kay. Well, the Yankees changed their roster just a little bit. They picked up a guy who could really help them, Kenny, and that's the former Tiger, Brendan Bosch.
Brendan Bosch, the Yankees been looking for some outfield help since the injury to Curtis Granderson. And this is Mr. Bosch, who has hit particularly well against the Yankees and hit very well at Yankee Stadium. So if you can't beat him, join him. The Yankees have picked up Brendan Bosch, solid left-handed hitter, just 27 years old, has all kinds of power, should use that short porch in right field at Yankee Stadium to his advantage. And he's got some speed, too. Look at him hustling down the line to beat out an infield here. He can do it.
He's 27 years old, and in 3 years with the Tigers, 259, 42 homers, 175 ribbies. Released by the Tigers on Wednesday, signed by the Yankees Friday to a one-year major league contract, and at Yankee Stadium, 11 hits in 30 at-bats. That's a .367 batting average. Let's check out today's Verizon Fios pitching matchup. Raul Valdez goes for the Phillies, 3-2, 2.90 last year, and Hiroki Kuroda will get the start for the Yankees. He's 16-11 with a 3.32 last season for the Yanks. Well, it is a gorgeous day here in Tampa, Florida. We've got it all for you. Lineups, first pitch, and obviously baseballs right here on Yes. After it's Steinbrenner Field, and we're ready for baseball. Ben Revere's ready, so is Hiroki Kuroda. And let's do it here in Tampa. And the first pitch is a strike, and we are underway. That's what Kuroda has done this spring, the 0-1.
Scouting report on Hiroki Kuroda, as you saw the numbers, 1.59 ERA, outstanding spring. He had a put-away splitter his last start, struck out 6 in 4 innings, and 167 strikeouts.
Ground ball to Rivera. One away.
That was a career high last year in strikeouts for the Yankees.
Now let's check out the Phillies lineup, which is presented by Hyundai, and this is what Corona's going to deal with. He's already dealt with Ben Revere. Center fielder leads off. Michael Young at third base will bat second. Chase Utley at second will hit third. Then it's Ryan Howard, Dominic Brown, and Lance Nix. And at the bottom of the order, Jermaine Mitchell, the DH, Yuniesky Betancourt at shortstop, and Stephen LaRude will catch a bad ninth. Michael Young takes outside, longtime Texas Ranger, traded during the offseason, played third base for the Phils. Had to waive a no-trade clause to make that deal happen and saw the writing on the wall that he would not have any time in Texas. Knew he'd be the third baseman here as he grounds out to first. Let's take a look at what the Yankees have set up defensively for the Phillies. We've got Ichiro in left, Gardner in center, and the newest Yankee, Bosch, over and right. Infield, Youkilis, Jeter, Velasquez, and Rivera third to first. Chris Stewart behind the plate. We told you about Hiroki Kuroda on the mound. And there is the newest Yankee, Brendan Bosch. Spoke to him before the game. He is just elated to be here. He knows this could be a good situation for him. He could be here for a long time. He's 27 years old. And Yankee Stadium kind of built for his stroke.
Yeah, if he remembers what he's done at Yankee Stadium, we showed you the numbers. He's been outstanding. You feel comfortable as a player in certain ballparks, and it's been that way for him in the Bronx. Chase Utley at the plate. This is the first time he's been healthy in 2 springs. He's missed the last 2 spring trainings because of injury. And this year he's healthy. The Phillies are hoping he can put together one of those Chase Utley all-star type seasons and put them in contention in the National League East.
Fly ball, shallow center. Gardner is there, and that'll do it. Phillies go down in order 1, 2, 3. Phillies nothing, and the New York Yankees coming to bat. The first inning for Hiroki Kuroda. Now Raul Valdez is going to face this Yankee starting lineup presented by Lexus. The captain, the shortstop, Derek Jeter, leads off, batting second, playing left field. Ichiro Suzuki. Kevin Youkilis at third base will hit third. Batting cleanup, first baseman Juan Rivera. Travis Happer, a long home run yesterday. He'll DH, will bat fifth. Batting sixth, right fielder Brendan Bosch. Brett Gardner's in center field, will bat seventh. Batting eighth and catching Chris Stewart. And Gil Velasquez, the second baseman, will bat ninth.
Veteran left-hander on the mound for the Philadelphia Phillies. He'll be facing Derek Jeter. The captain will lead it off for the Yankees. Raul Valdez, 35 years old. He's been with the Cubs, the Mets, the Cardinals, the Yankees for a while, and now the Philadelphia Phillies. And that's what he's done so far this spring. We look at the scouting report. New Year's Day 2003. That was a milestone in his life. He defected from Cuba, landed in the Dominican Republic. 5 times he had tried previously to defect and couldn't do it. Spent some time in jail in Cuba. Very deceptive motion, and he is a strike thrower. A lot of strikes from Raul Valdez. It shows you how hard he wanted to get out of Cuba. 5, 6 times before he was successful.
Pitch outside to Jeter. This is kind of a next step in the rehab of Jeter as he plays shortstop for 2 straight days. Played yesterday's game at short, today at short as well.
And he insists he'll be ready for opening day.
Going to be a long day for Joe Girardi. He has another game after this one at 5 o'clock in Celebration, Florida. That's really at Disney. Yankees against the Braves. And he will be there.
One of those split squad days.
Now this game with an unusual 12:05 starting time, because across the street at Raymond James Stadium there's a big concert for tonight, and that's Kenny Chesney, and they're going to need the parking for the Chesney concert, so they need to clear out the 10,000 or so fans that are here today, and that lot has to clear out so the Chesney fans could get in.
Now I wonder if anybody's doing a doubleheader sort of thing, a ball game and then concert. Fly
ball right center. Revere with a long run. He's not going to get there. And it rolls to the wall. Derek's taking it slow as he heads to second with a leadoff double.
Well, that's Jeter's first extra base hit of the spring. He put a charge into that one, and Ben Revere can't run it down with his speed. I don't think many center fielders would have gotten to this one. Off the bat, we watch him come out of the box. And about right here, he knows he has a two-base hit. He's going to break it down.
You get the sense Kenny is still a work in progress.
Yes.
I don't think he's busted it to this point and doesn't really want to go all out. But he's going to have to on April 1st. I think he's taking the smart route. Here's Ichiro. And there's a strike.
You know, Michael, I agree with you. But the fact is, he doesn't want to come up with hamstring problems. I mean, he hasn't done much running all winter long because of the fact he's recovering from a broken ankle. Take your time. Remember the tortoise and the hare? Who won the race?
It was a tortoise.
That's right. Take your time. That's one of those first stories you'll learn in life, isn't it?
Certainly up there. Slow but steady wins the race. The 0-2. It's high. Ichiro's had a very good spring. Saw his numbers hitting .429. During the offseason, signed a 2-year deal with the Yankees. Certainly 3,000 hits within striking distance in 2 years, but he's going to have 2 good years. Just under 400 hits away. Grounded to short. Jeter tries to advance to third, and he gets gunned down. That was a rare base running mistake by Derek Jeter as he tried to advance on the ball hit in front of him. So he gets gunned down at third.
You can see Yuniesky Betancourt. Immediately, the veteran shortstop turns, fires the third, and Michael Young will make the tag. Betancourt will not be the shortstop for the Phillies during the course of the season. He's trying to hook on as a utility player. Of course, Jimmy Rollins was with the U.S. team in the WBC. The U.S. team got eliminated last night by Puerto Rico. Jimmy Rollins should be back to Clearwater any day.
Here's Kevin Youkilis. Celebrated his 34th birthday yesterday. Had the day off. Back in the lineup today. Swing starting to come together the last week or so. Belted 2 home runs.
Youkilis over the years well known for having a very good batting eye, running deep counts. Career 283 hitter.
Worked with Kevin Long after he signed with the Yankees. They kind of lowered his hands just a little bit, get him quicker to the ball. His brother-in-law, certainly well known, Tom Brady.
That Tom Brady?
That Tom Brady.
Oh, my goodness.
Not Kevin Long's brother-in-law. But Youkilis is married to Brady's sister. Those are the numbers the last 5 seasons. Last year he split between the Red Sox and the White Sox.
Big year in 2008 with Boston.
Youkilis's wife told Jack Curry that when she told Tom Brady she was dating Kevin Youkilis, he said, take it slow, real slow.
Well, he's part of the Brady bunch now, kind of by marriage.
Yep.
You know, Youkilis is an example. Certainly, you wouldn't teach anybody to hit the way he does. But it's worked for him over the years. You can stand on your head. If you can hit, they're going to find a place for you.
Line drive, throw to first, double play. Ichiro too far off. Should not be getting double off on a line drive to third base, but Ichiro with a base running mistake. In fact, the Yankees with 2 base running blunders in the bottom of the first inning. No runs, a hit, no errors, and nobody left. Go to the second, no score.
Message for those who
Purdy, your local Tri-Honda dealer, for great deals on the 2013 Pilot. By IMG Academy Youth Sports Camps and Private School. Become more at IMG Academy. And by Kia. Visit Kia.com to learn why Kia is one of the fastest growing car brands in America.
Take a look at the last play, and Michael is absolutely right. You shouldn't be doubled off on a line drive to the left side of the infield. You know, back to the pitcher, to the first baseman, sometimes to the second baseman, but not to the shortstop or the third baseman. A rare base running blunder by Ichiro Suzuki.
Ryan Howard fouls it back.
You know, Howard last year, a lot of injuries. He was recovering from that Achilles tendon tear that he had on the final play of the Phillies season the year before. Only got 260 at-bats, but still drove in 56 runs.
Yankees shift on Ryan Howard. 3 infielders on the right side.
Yeah, where he can hit him, the shift's not going to work.
You'd have to put somebody on Dale Mabry.
Yeah, oh my goodness. You know what? That would have worked that day in Clearwater. No, that was US 19. That
yeah,
wasn't
it'd be
Dale Mabry.
very dangerous. What a way to end the season, huh, Kenny?
Yeah, this is it against the Cardinals in the playoffs. It's the final play of the season for the Phillies, and Ryan Howard breaking out of the box tore his Achilles tendon, and as we said, he only got 260 at-bats last year for the Phillies and hit 219.
Swing and a miss. Corona looks very good.
Yeah, he looked very good in his last start, where he really tied Howard up with a fastball up and in. All those splitters in the dirt, and then comes up and in with a fastball. You can see Chris Stewart target is in. Man, right there. Spillover fastball, and Howard is headed back to the dugout. That was kind of a weak swing and a miss.
Here's Dominic Brown.
Yeah, before the game, I was talking to Yankee pitching coach Larry Rothschild about Kuroda, and I said he's had a very good spring. And I said, well, what has he been working on? What can he get better at? And he says each and every time that he goes out to warm up, he says to him, what do you want to work on today? And each and every time Kuroda says, I want to use my cutter. And each and every time Rothschild says, no, I don't want you throwing a cutter. So he wants him to stick with the curveball, the slider, and the splitter.
Right back to Kuroda for the second out.
Got hit on the hands of Dominic Brown.
He's made 3 previous starts, Kuroda has, and the numbers are very, very good. Gave up 3 hits the first time against the Phillies, 2 hits in 3 innings against the Dominican Republic. That was a good lineup. And then against the Cardinals last time out, 4 innings, 3 hits. He's allowed 1 earned run.
He had 6 strikeouts in the 4 innings on the 11th against the Cardinals.
There's Lance Nix. And a strike. Another strike.
Looks like he's in midseason form, Michael.
Yeah, he wants to start tomorrow.
He's pitching like he wants to get to the Kenny Chesney concert early.
Do some tailgating. Grounded to second. Velasquez. 6 up, 6 down for the Phillies against Kuroda. We go to the bottom of the second with no score. The 2013 season are now on sale at Yankees.com and through Ticketmaster. Get your tickets today to see the Yankees take on the American League, as well as some great intra-league matchups, including the Dodgers and Giants. And don't miss the 67th annual Old Timers Day on Sunday, June 23rd. To purchase tickets, visit Yankees.com or call Ticketmaster at 877-469-9849. Juan Rivera took a strike from Raul Valdez. Swings at that one and pops it up. 1 away. Let's look at the game time weather conditions brought to you by Toyota. Beautiful day here in Tampa. 72 degrees, so it's warming up. Next week's supposed to be really warm, and it's not that warm in the Bronx. 37 degrees and a chance of rain right around Yankee Stadium. Talked to a lot of people with the Yankees, and they say it has not been a great spring weather-wise. There's been a lot of cold weather.
Actually, it's not quite spring yet. That's tomorrow. I mean, isn't it? Or is it? This is yesterday. Travis Hafner. Oh, it has a sound. And you can tell by the reaction of the pitcher. The pitcher drops his head. He knows that baseball is not going to be seen again.
Now, Hafner gets start today against Valdez. He's probably not going to be playing against many lefties. The Yankees will have a platoon situation at DH, but if you're the lefty side of the DH platoon, you're going to get plenty of at-bats.
Spring is actually the 21st, so we have a few more days of winter left. Getting ahead of myself.
But Florida winter is a little different than
It's been
Northeast winter.
Chilly in the morning here. Vic Carapazza with the call. Hafner didn't agree with it. Hafner's been known to have a very good eye over the years. Vic Carapazza, the home plate umpire, I found out something about him I did not know today.
What's that?
His father-in-law is Richie Garcia.
Really?
Richie Garcia. Vic is married to Richie's youngest daughter.
Ground ball to third. And they get Hafner for the second out.
And I asked Richie, I said, can I mention that? He said, sure. Richie says, I'm big in New York.
Well, Brennan Bosch is hoping to be big in New York. On Wednesday, the Tigers released him, which is strange to release a 27-year-old. They had options on him as well. They could have sent them to the minor leagues, but they saved some money by just releasing him. And there were teams that were interested. He thought the Yankees were a perfect situation for him. And we'll see how he does. I asked him, are you excited about playing half your games with the short porch and right? He said, I'm very excited about that. So he knows that field and its dimensions really help him.
He's got big-time power.
Always really hurt the Yanks.
Yeah, he did. Born in Santa Monica, California, now lives in Los Angeles.
He got off to a great start in 2010 to the point that he was considered for the All-Star team. Hurt his thumb a year ago and really hasn't been the same. Hits the ball hard right there to Michael Young. So Bosch gets the first at that under his belt. We've got 2 innings under our belt. No runs. Well, we go to the top of the third inning. There's no score. Bottom third of the Phillies order against Hiroki Kuroda. As this inning moves along, we'll throw it down to Meredith Marakovitz, who has the Yankee GM, Brian Cashman.
Thanks, Michael. Brian, obviously the big news story of yesterday and even today was the signing of Brennan Bosch. How do you see him fitting into this team, and what do you expect from him?
Well, nothing hopefully but upside. He's got some flexibility for us. We signed him to a major league deal, but with a split contract. So he'll get paid at the rate of $1.5 million if he makes the club, and if not, he's got options. We can send him to AAA at the rate of $500,000. So it increases our depth and our ability, and we're looking forward to getting a chance to have Kevin Long work with him on his swing. And he's got big power, and he's a big hairy monster from the left side. The guys I kind of like that way, but he's scuffled a little bit lately the last few years, so maybe we can catch lightning in a bottle.
He obviously not a huge sample size, but he does have good numbers at Yankee Stadium. Also a swing that's suited for that short porch there in right field. How much does that play into your decision to sign?
Well, with Curtis Granderson going down, we could use another left-handed bat in the lineup to start against right-handed pitching. So that's really the job description he's going to shoot for right now, and we'll see. On paper, I think it just gives us another look and another chance to evaluate and create more competition, and that's always good. And right now, given our circumstances, it's good to add some more people into the mix.
Now, he's a guy that's played both left field and right field. How do you see him fitting in? Into left field or right field?
It really depends. I mean, we're going to get a chance to know what he's capable of doing, and he can play left, he can play right. So as many quality choices I can secure for Joe Girardi here as we move forward, the better. And as we move through camp of spring training, there's going to be a lot of guys probably getting cut loose in other camps, and we'll continue to sniff on all that stuff and evaluate it. And the ones we seem to like, we'll pounce on if they're game for us too. And so far, we've added in the last week 2 guys, Ben Francisco as well as Brennan Bosch, and I think that we're better for it.
When you look at constants in this lineup, at least for the past couple of years, it's been Derek Jeter. He's there for the second consecutive game, a step in his rehab process. How significant a step is that for him playing back-to-back days?
It's significant. Listen, on the front end of this stuff, Derek's gonna be a little rusty, probably have some aches and pains that he won't tell anybody about, and it's pretty amazing that what he's having to go through. I mean, listen, I did this to my ankle, and I'm not a professional athlete, so I can't imagine what the hurdles he has to get through to speed up, to play a game at this level. It's pretty impressive to where he's at and what he's capable of doing. But at the same time, it's not going to dismiss what the experiences he's going to have to deal with going forward, from soreness and stuff. And he's not anybody that talks about this stuff, so I guarantee he's hurting a little bit here and there, but he's a pro.
Based on what you've known of him over the years, was there any doubt in your mind that he'd be at this point right now at spring, being able to be out there playing at 100%, not 100%, but be out there playing?
Yeah, no. With Derek, he's someone you just don't worry about. You worry for him, I guess, but he's a rare breed. Things just don't stop him. He finds a way to get through it, get over it, not complain while he's dealing with it. And so, he's a one in a million. And he's got his hands full with the ankle, but he's breezing through it better than anybody would. So we're lucky for that. And but he should be ready by opening day. But this is another big test for him.
You look at the starting rotation: CC Sabathia and Andy Pettit. First look on the mound from them. They did throw a bunch of sim games. What was your first impression of them?
Good. It's nice to get. This will be the first week where our entire rotation, absent of Hughes, is going to go through, and getting Pettit and CC out there, it's starting to feel like the team is slowly but surely coming together as opening day creeps up on us. And our pitching is going to be our strength, and that's what's going to have to carry us. We're going to be more important to run prevent than run create right now, and with the injuries that Teixeira and Granderson. So it's great to see those guys taking them out for us.
Brian, thanks for the time.
Thanks for having me.
And it's back to you guys.
Well, nice diving stab there by Kevin Youkilis to rob Ben Revere of an extra base hit and an RBI. So we stayed at 0-0 as we go to the bottom of the third inning. Brett Gardner will lead it off. And it's a drag bunt. It is a beauty. It's a base hit.
Well, that's at least the second bunt hit that Gardner's had this spring. And, of course, with his type of speed, you got to use this in your offensive arsenal. Gets it by the left-handed Valdez. Now the race is on between Utley and Gardner's going to win this one easily. He dropped the base hit down in Sarasota down the third baseline, and there was no chance for Manny Machado, the third baseman of the Orioles, on that play. And here, really no chance for Utley. So the Yankees have the leadoff man on here in the bottom of the third inning.
That's what Stewart has done so far in spring training. Neither Stewart nor Cervelli have really separated themselves in this battle for the starting catching position, and there's a good chance they could just split it evenly. Girardi has spoken about that over the last few days. It could be split 60-40. It could be 81 and 81. He said there have been instances when that happens, and Girardi and Posada kind of split the catching duties for a while. And I think what the Yankees are looking for this year, they're looking defense first behind the plate, and anything they get of an offensive value is going to be a plus.
You know, Michael, you were speaking about Girardi and Posada splitting time. Now, I think there was 2 years the Yankees won the World Series back-to-back, and 1 year Girardi was behind the plate on the last game. And the next year, Joe Torre was cognizant of the fact, and he made sure Posada had a chance to be behind the plate after the Yankees won the World Series, and that's exactly what happened.
And Torre also made it very clear about the passing of the baton, and at one of the ticker tape parades, he called Posada up to talk to the crowd, and that was kind of a ceremonial passing of the torch. And Jorge's actually in camp with the Yankees this spring. Here's Velasquez. There's a strike. Cano still with the Dominican Republic team in the WBC. They've moved on to the championship round. They'll play Puerto Rico, I believe, tonight just to get seeding for that round. So it'll be Puerto Rico, the Dominican Republic, Japan, and the Netherlands.
Yeah, Velasquez is keeping second base warm until Robbie gets back.
I didn't realize that the Netherlands was such a hotbed for baseball.
Well, they have Curaçao is actually a part of the what do they call it?
Netherlands Antilles.
Yeah, the Kingdom of the Netherlands, and a lot of players. You know, Andrew Jones is on that team. Jurickson Profar is on that team. The youngster, the Texas Rangers, their best prospect. Bert Blyleven is the pitching coach because he was born in the Netherlands.
Line drive, base hit to right field for Velasquez. And Gardner around second. He's going to third. Here's the throw from Nix. It's high. And Gardner is in there.
Gardner gets the decent jump from first, but he's at second when the ball is picked up by Nix. And this is what Gardner brings to the team. This type of speed and explosiveness on the bases that can lead to a run. He knew there was one out. He knew he should take a chance to get the third with no score on the board. So he made it, put the pressure on Nix in right field to make a good throw. The throw had the velocity, but it was too high, and he's got the third easily.
Jeter fouls it off.
What you just saw, not many players can do. Right fielder picking up the ball when he was on second. That's Gardner. And still even attempt to go to third base, let alone make it.
Count 0-2 on Jeter.
There's part of the deception of Valdez. Good off-speed pitch.
School is in session between Girardi and Jabba.
You know, last year, Michael, we had talked about the fact that the Yankees, hit a lot of home runs. They hit the most in the major leagues. And we don't foresee that type of power this year, which means they're going to have to hit a lot better with runners in scoring position. When you get the opportunity, he's going to have to cash in. Situational hitting.
Jeter could not hold up. Breaking ball diving down and in.
Another off-speed pitch from Valdez. Looked like a slider, cutter, down and in, and Jeter over the top, swings and misses. And that's Valdez's first strikeout. Valdez actually pitched for the Yankees back in 2011, 6 games, and gave up 8 hits in 6 2/3 innings. Did strike out 8 hitters, though.
Here's Ichiro. 0-1. Foul tip. He held up, but the ball just glanced off the bat. The count 0-2.
Yeah, when Valdez gets in trouble here, he hasn't gone to the fastball. He's gone to the off-speed stuff and breaking pitches. A wily veteran.
Runner goes from first. Ground ball to second. Utley is there, and that will do it. So Valdez works into and out of trouble. Yankees strand 2. We go to the 4th. No score.
The 4th inning. It's time for the Phillies team scouting report, brought to you by PHI Honda. That is Ryan Sandberg, who's the Phillies' new third base coach. Phillies had a strong second half last year. Before the All-Star break, they were 37-50. After the All-Star break, 44-31. That ended up 81-81 season. Lack of power at third base. Now, this is the franchise of Mike Schmidt, who hit more home runs than any third baseman in history. They only got 5 home runs from third baseman.
And here's their new third baseman, Michael Young.
Michael Young's a new third baseman. Not that he's going to be Mike Schmidt, but he should be an improvement. 12 walk-off losses last year.
Ground ball to Youkilis. One away.
It's demoralizing when you have a walk-off loss, but to have 12 of them, that set the tone.
A little odd, too. They spent so much money on Papelbon.
Yeah. Papelbon ended up saving 38 games for the Phillies last year. That was Charlie Manuel, the manager we were showing.
And their strong finish probably saved his job.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. 44 and 31 after the All-Star break, just to get to 500.
And they were in it in September, and they just couldn't take the next step because it took so much to climb to that point. They didn't have anything left in the tank. Count 0-1 on Utley.
Well, the Phillies have a, we talked about the Yankees being a veteran team. How about the Phillies? Their infield, Ryan Howard, Chase Utley, Jimmy Rollins, and Michael Young in the infield. All veterans, all in their 30s. All stars at one time or another. Ryan Howard on deck was an MVP one year. Jimmy Rollins was an MVP one year. That's going to be the strength of their team, the infield.
Check swing. Did he go?
Oh, man.
No, he did not. According to third base umpire Manny Gonzalez.
Let's take another look at this. Now, Chase Utley has one of the quickest swings in baseball. Yeah, I guess he held up.
Yeah, I think he did.
Yeah, he did.
Well, they certainly have a lot of age in that infield, and the Phillies have been very good for a long time, and their window might be closing because there's age on this team.
That pitch just missed as well. You're right. They won the division 5 years in a row.
Yep.
They won the World Series 2008. They beat the Rays in the World Series.
Lost to the Yankees the next year in the series. And you know what? You could say the same thing about the Yankees. So those that are picking against the Yankees, you'd say, hey, they're too old as well. And the key to this team is going to be their rotation. Hamels, Halladay, Lee, Kendrick, and Lannon. Lannon pitched very well yesterday.
Worried about Roy Halladay. He's having a rough spring. He had an outing the other day where he gave up 7 runs and wasn't throwing very hard.
So Utley works a walk. One out here in the fourth. Second base runner for the Phillies.
But I have a feeling the Phillies going to make a run this year. I mean, they have too many good players. I think the thing about them is they got to stay healthy. Ryan Howard he's going to play all year. At least they hope he does. Same for Utley.
You mentioned the big question mark. Halladay has to be Halladay.
Yeah, he does.
And you saw last year an over 4 ERA, so maybe the decline has started. But I did a game earlier this week with Al Leiter, and Leiter spoke with Rich Doobie. And he said he's not concerned about Halladay. He thinks he's going to be fine. Ground ball. And off the glove of Velasquez. So Howard will reach. Utley will move to third. So that'll be an E4. He was thinking double play before he actually fielded the ball. So now the Phillies have runners on first and third.
Well, this ball was, with Howard running, it should have been an inning-ending double play. Off the glove. And now the Phillies are in business. First and third with 1 out. Time and time again, well, not time and time again, from time to time we have seen the Yankees this spring show up a little short defensively. And that's a play that Kuroda should have been out of the inning.
Pitch to Brown is outside. 1-0.
He's having a pretty good spring. 360, 3 home runs. Phillies wanting to take that next step. Be a compliment to Howard and Utley.
And a strike.
Now, if I don't know if this is going to be his parking place in the Philly lineup during the course of the season for Charlie Manuel, but if he is, you know, he's going to have a big job, because eventually they're going to start walking Howard to see what Dominic Brown's going to do.
High drive, right field. That ball is gone. A long 3-run home run for Dominic Brown. And the Phillies lead 3-0.
Well, if he's going to do that, it's not going to pay to walk Ryan Howard. Talking to Charlie Manuel earlier this week, he thinks Dominic Brown is ready to burst through. He says he's finally starting to get it. Been very quick with the bat all spring. You saw an example of it right here. Fastball kind of up and in, and he was ready for it. Turns, got the good wood, and this was headed for far away places. Brendan Bosch is the last one to see it, and the Phillies got a 3-0 lead.
Lance Nix grounds one sharply, almost took off the head of Rivera, stays with it, and he flips to Kuroda. That was scary. Woof.
Well, to Rivera's credit, he stayed in front of it. He knocked it down and made the play.
Here's Jermaine Mitchell. And that one is hammered into right center field. It's going to be a base hit. One hop up against the wall. Gardner gets it in, but Mitchell is speedy, and he will get himself a triple. Boy, he was flying.
Here's a look. Another pitch that's up in his zone. Mitchell puts a charge into it. You can see Kuroda just looking and well, gonna have to back up third base. There you go. As Mitchell, using his speed, has himself a triple.
Such a hard game to figure, Kenny. I mean, he's just coasting along, and he's just unraveled after the error by Velasquez. Should have been an inning-ending double play. Now all of a sudden his pitches are up in the zone. Here's Yuniesky Betancourt. Singled his last time up.
Yeah, Betancourt has bounced around the last few years. We first saw him with Seattle, then Kansas City, Milwaukee, now signed as a minor league free agent by the Philadelphia Phillies. Every organization should have a Yuniesky.
Just for Scrabble. Pitches outside.
You
Having
remember
a good spring.
You remember him in Seattle?
Yeah. He was highly thought of.
And of course, moving to Kansas City. But Kansas City has a shortstop now, Alcides Escobar. He's going to be an all-star soon.
Base hit through the left side of the infield. Scoring is Mitchell. Betancourt gets himself an RBI single, and it's 4-0 Phils.
Following the error, a home run, another hard hit ball, a triple and a single. This is going to split the difference between Youkilis and Jeter. Neither one had much of a chance, and the Phillies had themselves another run.
LaRue fouls it away.
Now, LaRue has been more or less a career minor leaguer, and he's been with a few organizations as well. Pittsburgh, Kansas City, Baltimore. But he did get a cup of coffee with the Phillies in the big leagues in September. Got called up from Double-A and got his first major league hit off Jonathan Neese of the Mets. But the Phillies' everyday catcher is Carlos Ruiz, who's going to miss the first 25 games of the season, suspended for usage of PEDs, banned substance.
Caught by Rivera. Boy, did they hit Corona hard that inning. And it started with what should have been an inning-ending ground ball double play off the bat of Howard, booted by Velasquez, and then the next batter, Dominic Brown, goes yard for a 3-run home run. One more run later, it's 4-0 Phillies. Game on Yes is brought to you in part by the Chevy Cruze. Cruze offers an EPA estimated 38 miles per gallon based on EPA estimates. Visit fueleconomy.gov for details. All right, Kevin Youkilis is going to lead off here in the 4th inning. Earlier he made a fine play. This was to end the 3rd inning.
To his right. Lays out, comes up with it to save the run.
And a new pitcher for the Phillies, it's Mike Adams.
Signed as a free agent over the winter by the Phillies. Last year he did his pitching for the Texas Rangers, went 5-3 for Texas. You can see what he's done this spring. And he's one of those guys the Phillies hope bolster the bullpen. He is a setup man and a good one. He's going to be setting up Jonathan Papelbon.
Youkilis hit the ball sharply in the first, but lined into a 5-3 double play. Hit a bullet to Michael Young. And a strike. Funny scene in the Yankee clubhouse before the game. Brendan Bosch standing by his locker, the media crowded around, maybe about 15 people. Talked to him about 5 minutes, and they were done, standing around. And he goes, "That's it?" He goes, "That wasn't as hard as everybody said it was going to be."
Had he talked to you yet?
Yes, he did.
Just checking.
There's a strike. Brennan will be up 4th this inning. Yougless has been great. I mean, engaging personality, friendly to everybody, just fits into that clubhouse very well. Good with the media. And I've always said the New York media gets a rap as a tough media. Nothing compared to Boston. So if you can survive Boston or even Philly, I think New York's not going to be as tough as you think it is.
Yeah, well, you figure these teams are some of the established franchises from a long time ago. You know, Philly's been around longer than anybody but Cincinnati, I believe. In fact, their team name, the Phillies, they've had it longer than any other team in sports. And, you know, their fans have been around a long time, from generation to generation. They know what winning baseball looks like and what they'd like to have in each and one of those cities.
But Philadelphia is kind of known for being very tough. I mean, they booed Santa Claus in an Eagles game. They booed Mike Schmidt. The 1-2. Foul back.
Yeah, I remember them booing Mike Schmidt in the World Series in 1983. I think he went 1 for 23 in the World Series. And what Schmidt said was, you know, Eddie Murray wasn't having a good World Series either. Both are going to become Hall of Famers eventually. And he said, in Baltimore, Eddie comes up, he's 0 for 10 or 0 for 12, and they're still going, Eddie, Eddie. I come up, boy, it sounds like I stole something from everyone in the stands. But players like Mike Schmidt don't come around very often. And now he's probably one of the most revered Philadelphia Phillies ever.
Boy, could he play.
Oh, man. Gold Glover at third. Home run power. Led the National League in home runs 8 years.
Yougless with a fly ball in deep center. Revere will make the play for the first out.
Oh, here we go. Talking about Mike Schmidt. 18 Major League seasons, all with the Phillies, 3-time MVP, 12-time All-Star, 10 Gold Gloves, 1980 World Champion with the Phillies. They beat Kansas City that year, and 548 home runs.
Michael Jack Schmidt, as the late great Harry Callis used to call him, Michael Jack Schmidt. Here's Juan Rivera. I once asked Harry Callis, how do you get your voice like that? That would be a lot of bourbon.
I didn't know he was from Kentucky. Well, Rivera will probably get a lot of playing time at first base if he makes the club in the absence of Mark Teixeira. The Yankees need a right-handed hitter. This could be their answer for a while. Of course, Rivera can also play the corner outfield slots. He came up with the Yankees as an outfielder.
Rounded left side, Michael Young. Two-way. Travis Hafner coming up. He's from North Dakota. Talks about what that means to him.
Sykeston is a very small town of, you know, maybe 100 people, and the high school that I was at is closed now. But you know, just I love growing up in North Dakota. I grew up on a farm there. You know, Roger Maris was, you know, a huge figure, so he had a lot of success for the Yankees, and yeah, I just you know, really love where I came from, and growing up in North Dakota was very special.
Well, let's see if he could have some home run success like Roger Maris. He stays healthy, he's going to hit the ball out. There's a strike. Yesterday hit his first home run of the spring, a long blast against the Marlins.
Well, think about it, not too many players from North Dakota.
Certainly not year-round baseball, that's
No,
for sure.
That's for sure. Never been to North Dakota, Michael?
I don't think so. Have you?
No, there's a few states that I haven't actually gotten to. Not many, but only a few. North Dakota is one of them.
15 position players and 8 pitchers have come from North Dakota. One of the notable ones, Darren Erstad. He played some football too.
At Nebraska.
Won a national championship.
Was he a punter?
Yep.
Yep. In Hafner's heyday with the Cleveland Indians, he was one of the top power hitters in the league. He had one year he hit 42 homers. Had 4 straight years where he drove in over 100 runs. Now maybe those days are behind him, but you get in situations and your experience sometimes will turn on that talent once again and get the job done. The Yankees are hoping so. 10 years with Cleveland, he hit 200 home runs.
And that's better than it sounds, because a lot of those years he didn't play because of injury. He didn't play the majority of the year, especially lately.
Only one player in the history of the Cleveland Indians hit more home runs and Grand Slam home runs than Travis Hafner. Hafner hit a dozen Grand Slams for the Indians. Only Manny Ramirez hit more. Manny hit 13.
On deck, Brennan Bosch. Mike Adams on in relief of Raul Valdez. Valdez went 3 innings. And Adams has retired the first 2 Yankees this inning. Strike 3. Hafner down looking. So the kid from North Dakota strikes out to end this inning. But outside, another kid from North Dakota is part of forever. The Audi scoreboard shows the Phillies leading 4-0. Phillies got all their runs in the 4th inning as Hiroki Kuroda was just coasting, and then an error by Gil Velasquez kind of opened up the floodgates. And as we move along here in the top of the 5th inning, we're going to talk to the manager of the New York Yankees, Joe Girardi. Ben Revere leads off. There's a strike. Joe, what did you make of the fact that Corona looked so unbelievable in the first 3 innings, and then something went awry?
You know, it looked like he was just getting too much to the plate, and that's the line that these guys walk. And he was up in the zone a little bit, and you know, it was a pretty good bunt. Juan Rivera's been busy today, but he got up in the zone a little bit too much over the plate, and they started hitting him.
Now you have a new right fielder today, Brennan Bosch. What could this guy do for this team?
Well, I mean, we've seen him play really well with Detroit, and he's going to get a great opportunity here to, you know, be an outfielder here. And I don't know if it'd be a platoon situation or a guy that could play every day. But you know, a couple of years ago, they thought he should have been an all-star in the first half of the season. So he's fairly athletic. He's got some power. He's had some success off of left-handers in his career as well. So he's going to get a good look with us.
Swing-wise, it would seem to me, Joe, that he was made for Yankee Stadium. Do you see the same thing?
Yeah, I mean, he's able to pull the ball. There's no doubt about it. He's not as much as pulled as some of our other guys that we've had in town, but he can definitely pull the baseball.
Now, you have a split squad. You have another game at Disney at 5 o'clock.
I do.
You're the head guy, Joe. You don't have to go. You know that?
No, I know, but I do need to go. We're going to see another left-hander, Mahal, and he'll probably go 6 or 7 innings, I would think. He'll try to push him that far if they can. And we got a lot of our guys competing for that right-handed hitting outfielder over there, so I really need to go get a good look. And Phelpsy's pitching as well.
Any players that were here this afternoon are going to go on the bus ride as well? Or?
Absolutely not. No, they're done.
All right.
They get the easy day.
Utley with a fly ball to left, and that's not what we needed.
Yeah, that was less than 8 pitches.
That's just brutal.
I love it.
That's just brutal, Joe.
I came out in the 4th.
Enjoy Disney World.
Thanks, guys.
We're halfway through. Season tickets are on sale right now. Benefits include savings off the game day ticket price and postseason options. Season ticket plans are available on both a full season and partial season basis with various options to fit what you're looking for. Buy your season tickets today. Call 212-YANKEES or log on to Yankees.com. Audi scoreboard, 4-0 Phillies. Bottom of the 5th. New pitcher for the Phillies. It's Chad Durbin.
Veteran right-hander who is bounced around to say the least, and he too signed by the Phillies as a free agent, as was Mike Adams, to shore up the bullpen in front of Jonathan Papelbon.
And Bosch with the ground ball to second. 1 away.
Durbin's been Kansas City, Cleveland, Arizona, Detroit, the Phillies, Cleveland again, Atlanta, and now the Phillies again.
So he knows the good restaurants.
Oh, most definitely. you ever think about writing a book about best hotels, best restaurants around the country?
No.
Why not? I mean, people would take your advice because you've been to all these cities.
Believe me, I am not a connoisseur on that stuff. If the bed's soft, I'm fine. I'm really not a high-end guy.
Well, then restaurants. Forget the hotels.
Oh, so where can you get a steak? That would be a pamphlet. Wouldn't be a book.
But hey, I'm sure you got your favorites.
I do.
And people would listen to you.
Those people really should get examined.
Well, they got to eat.
Well, you should write it.
Why?
Because you toured the National League a lot. I lost the National League cities.
I forgot the National League.
Ground ball to second. And Gardner is out for the second out. How about Joe Girardi lucking out?
You mean 8 pitches?
8 pitches. That's unbelievable. We couldn't have him in the fourth inning. We could have broken down the last 5 years of Yankee baseball. And you can see he was gleeful, too. Not only did Kuroda bounce back, but in the perfect inning for him. Here's Chris Stewart. One and 0.
Well, you can save your questions for your next spring training. Well, this is your last spring training game.
Well, not necessarily. I'm doing the West Coast, the West Point game.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
That's technically a spring training game.
Your game in Florida.
Yes.
Last game in Florida.
How about O'Neill yesterday does the game, and on the air he goes, oh, by the way, this is my last spring training game. Yeah, it's also your first.
Yeah, I've been in Florida so long this spring, I can actually vote in this state now.
Watch out for the Chads. Durbin pitches inside.
I saw where you went there. See if he hangs this one. No, fastball.
Hard to hang a fastball.
Yeah, it is. It's probably one of the most difficult things a pitcher can do.
CC got some fastballs up yesterday early, but then found his location.
Didn't get a chance to talk to Joe about CC.
I know.
Yeah.
So many unanswered questions.
Well, from what I read, CC was very happy with his outing. And he kind of, I didn't see the game, but I understand he rallied at the end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He threw all of his pitches.
Mm-hmm.
And really just had some command issues early, but bounced back. Chris Stewart works a walk. Keep the inning alive.
And I believe that CC's going to have a couple of more starts here in spring training and then opening day
against the Red Sox. Probably be a battle of left-handers. CC against Lester. So here's Gil Velasquez. Kenny and I got a look about 4 rows behind the Yankee dugout before. Yeah. Sal Palantonio of ESPN. And Sal obviously does a lot of football for ESPN, but he is the biggest Yankee fan.
Isn't he from Philly?
Yeah. Ground ball to third. And that will do it. Here in the fifth. No runs, no hits, no errors, and 1 man left on base. That is a nice, cool, refreshing drink on a hot day.
With opening day fast approaching, the Yankees take on the Red Sox in another spring training contest here from Steinbrenner Field. League coverage on Yes starts at 1 when Lou Piniella joins me for all the action, only on Yes. Sweet Lou will be back.
Used to torment the Red Sox. 4-0. Yankees trail. Kuroda out for his 6th inning of work. Ryan Howard swings at the first pitch and lines it right at Youkilis with the shift on. Take a look at the shift. There's where they set up. 3 infielders on the right side and Youkilis on the left. And right into the teeth of it. Time to bring in Jack Curry. Jack, how you doing?
I'm doing well, Michael, and you?
Just as sick as you, but trying to hide it.
And you know what? That shift, I'm glad we showed that, but even if they didn't shift, that would have been a line out to shortstop right there.
You're right.
Sometimes you look at shifts and they do work out, but that was obviously well planned by the Yankees.
Both you guys are sick?
Yep.
I'll be back.
I don't know if it's sick or allergies down here, but a lot of people down there said it's really a bad allergy time.
Maybe you're not used to the warmer weather.
Could be that. Could be that we're old. David Robertson had a funny reaction to the acquisition of Brennan Bosch, didn't he, Jack?
He did, Michael. In the clubhouse this morning, Robertson's getting ready to start his day, and he looks over, and Bosch's locker is where all the catchers are. And he asked some reporters, including our Joe Oriema from YesNetwork.com, who's that? And he said, he looks familiar, but I'm not sure who he is. He's not a catcher, is he? And when he was told that it was Bosch, he said, when did we do that? So I caught up with David later, and I said, what's the matter? No ESPN, no MLB Network, no Yes Network, no updates for you? And he said, I was kind of busy yesterday. I usually do follow those things. But he did go on to say he's faced Bosch a couple times. Bosch is actually 1 for 2 off Robertson in his career. But he said Bosch's swing at Yankee Stadium, he likes that combination. He thinks that the lefty swinging Bosch could do some damage there.
Well, you were there when we all spoke to Bosch. He seems like an excited young man about being here.
Sounds like, Michael, as soon as he got released, he told his agent, Scott Boras, let's try and make this happen with the Yankees if we could. And then when the Yankees expressed interest, that made it even easier for Bosch. So we'll see how it goes. I mean, the Yankees, Brian Cashman's been pretty honest about picking up players as we head towards opening day and what's the best fit. And I think the fact that they signed Bosch to a major league deal tells you they weren't thrilled with what they've had here so far. They feel he's a better option than the other players they've been running out there.
Earlier in the week, it was Ben Francisco, so right-handed hitter for an outfielder and a lefty.
That one is looped in the center field. It's a base hit. It is interesting. You know, we've been looking at Twitter since the signing, and you know, a lot of Yankee fans aren't excited. Well, that's the best we can do, and that's a really good pickup for nothing. I mean, not giving up anything but money, and the guy was a really good player a couple of years ago, and you know, it's a roll of the dice to try to fill a hole. It's a great pickup, and if it doesn't work out, it was still a great pickup. You try.
You take a chance, Michael. I agree with you. He's been a streaky hitter. He's a guy who his numbers have deteriorated in the last couple of years, but he has had moments where he's been a very effective major league hitter.
Jermaine Mitchell slices one inside third. Ichiro fields it in the corner and gets it in. The Phillies have runners on second and third.
I think one thing that hurt Bosch with Detroit this spring, it was he was injured early in the spring and he couldn't really perform, and the Tigers really like Andy Dirks, so Andy Dirks basically kind of took his job from him.
14 homers, 67 ribbies. That first half of that season was when people were politicking Joe Girardi to put him on the All-Star team. Didn't make it, but he did have a good first half. So Larry Rothschild is out there talking with Kuroda, who has thrown 65 pitches so far. And this does not look as if he's going to take the ball from him. Hey, Jack, is there a new? Didn't I read over the window there's a new rule that you could bring an interpreter out to the mound now? I think so. I think I read that you can actually bring an interpreter to the mound, which makes sense. I mean, you're trying to talk to a guy in a big situation, and there's only like buzzwords that he knows. You really can't communicate to him.
I think originally they didn't even allow interpreters in the dugout.
Yeah. Second and third. 2 men out. Here's Yuniesky Betancourt. He's 2 for 2 today. 4-0 Phils. Count 1-0.
You know, Michael, closing out some of those Bosch points, we put up the numbers. In 2011, as late as July that year, he was hitting over 300. He was hitting about 310. So I think what the Yankees are looking at is let this guy, Bosch, help them get to Granderson's return. It might be a month. They need him to be a competent major league player for a month. And again, going back to what I said earlier, I think they feel he's a better option than what they had here. And you have to like that lefty swing at Yankee Stadium. And I know it's a small sample size. He's only had 32 at-bats there, but he's hit a home run. He's hitting over 350 there. And, you know, Brian Cashman and his members of the front office looked at that and said, this is a guy we think can do better for us. Let's go out and make this happen.
Fouled away. I wanted to make sure because I didn't want to be wrong. I just looked it up online. Baseball owners approved the rule change in January that would allow coaches and managers to bring interpreters to the mound this season for conferences with foreign-born pitchers who don't speak fluent English. The 1-2.
Probably going to tell a pitcher you can't have that first to third move anymore.
That's right. That's another rule change.
You know, they give you some things, they take other things away.
But in that instance right there, Kuroda's interpreter was not on the mound with Larry Rothschild. Jawan Bang was not out there. So Rothschild must feel he has enough of an ability to communicate with Kuroda, because if you were going to do that, why wouldn't spring training be the time to bring him out there, whether you get used to it, get in sync of doing it?
The 1-2. Punched out, right side. Right there is Rivera getting a workout in this game. Then that'll do it in the 6th. No runs, 2 hits, 2 men left. We'll go to the bottom of the 6th. Jack will stay with us. Upcoming schedule, everybody. All right, so tomorrow, St. Louis, Tampa Bay, then Philly and Toronto. Don't we have, we've got yes games coming up, don't we?
Yeah.
Next week?
20th and 21st.
20th. Oh, so these are already taking place. So those are not upcoming. Those are in the past. Tomorrow in Pittsburgh, and then we've got an off day on Monday. Then at Philly, Boston here, and Minnesota here, both on yes. I'm new to this. Walter Ibarra with his first at bat.
Ibarra was one of the Yankees who actually participated in the WBC. He was with the Team Mexico.
And lines that one into center field for a base hit.
Oh, it's kind of a Texas leaguer. That's near Mexico, isn't it?
I talked a little bit today, and we'll see that swing. Took it right up the middle. Boone Logan still hasn't been in the game, Jack. Is there a chance that he's going to be ready for opening day?
Weird exchange between Logan and reporters today, because he feels great when he throws a ball. He said he threw 30 pitches today, bullpen session. His arm feels great when he throws the ball. Now, he's been down with some elbow soreness. But when he doesn't throw the ball, he said there is some discomfort there. He said, my arm feels like $1 million. Meredith Marakovitz was there as he talked to reporters, and yet there is something there. So I think if you ask Joe Girardi, he would probably say, yeah, there is some concern, because if the guy has some pain when he's not throwing the ball, it makes you wonder what's going on.
Yeah, I asked him today. I said, so everything checks out? He said, well, that's what the x-rays say. He doesn't seem convinced that there's totally nothing wrong, but he does think he's going to be ready for opening day. Yankees can use him because it doesn't look like Rapata's going to be ready for opening day.
I think Rapata's worse off, isn't he?
They had bursitis in the shoulder. And that's one of the things that Joe really does very well, is mix and match out of the bullpen, and you need those lefties. Ichiro with a ground ball up the middle. There's one. And there's two. Tough to double up Ichiro, but they did it right there.
Yeah, it was almost a tailor-made double play ball, because Betancourt could actually feel the ball while moving towards second. Just flip it up in the air for Utley coming across. Turns. Utley, one of the best in baseball at turning the double play, and he gets it over to the big target at first. Ryan Howard.
So that'll bring up Kevin Youkilis. Jack, Youkilis, when he starts in his stance, is the same as it was with the Red Sox and the White Sox, but it has changed just a bit.
It's changed a little bit, Michael. You're right. He's in more of a crouch. He still has the hand off the bat when he first gets started, and he's going to like the result here, I believe.
Yes, he is. As he gets past Rivera and goes all the way to the wall, so Youkilis gets himself a double. A double, excuse me. Here is Kevin Youkilis talking about his new swing.
Well, it's not different. We're going back to 2008 and 2007 and not trying to be as tall and try to be more in a balanced position where I was in 2008, and which was my best year in baseball, statistic-wise. And, you know, I think we're just trying to get back to the same mechanics and same timing and rhythm. And if we can do all that, things will work out.
He's starting to swing the bat a lot better the last week or so. The 2 home runs, a double there. And he seems very comfortable here, Jack.
He really does. And the reason he went back to that 2008 form is Kevin Long visited him out in California. And after watching some video, Long made these suggestions. And the one thing you notice that Kevin Long does with a lot of hitters, he doesn't like that big leg kick. And even with Youkilis, he wanted him to get that front foot up, but then get it down again quickly.
Rivera lines one to Dominic Brown, so he hit it hard, but a nice play by Dominic Brown to end the inning. But Youkilis did get a double. Let's take a look at how he did it. The approach, odd to say the least, but the result, not odd at all. Top of the 7th inning, the Ford scoreboard shows Philadelphia leading the Yankees 4-0. You also hear in the background, enter Sandman. He doesn't come in the 9th inning in spring training because he's got to get his work in, and Mariano Rivera takes the mound.
Take a look at the Philly bench. I thought this was very interesting. When Mo came in the ball game, everybody got up off the bench and is up on the rail watching the greatest closer of all time. Nobody wants to miss this show.
So far this spring, 2 innings, 2 strikeouts, a lot of zeros. This is the last go-around for Mariano. You all know the story. He's going to retire at the end of this year. I spoke to Joe Torre about Rivera the other day, and he said, I think it's good for him that he announced it rather than have it hanging over his head and people wondering and whispers and stuff like that. He said now he knows exactly what he's going to do, and he can enjoy the last year. Swing and a miss.
And I think the day of that press conference, Michael, Mariano admitted that if he hadn't been hurt in Kansas City last year, hadn't destroyed his knee, last year would have been his final season. So I think he always was headed in this direction. I think you're right. And for these folks down here in Tampa who may never get to New York for a game or may never get on the road, they're going to soak this up because this may be the last time some people in these stands here at Steinbrenner Field ever see Mariano Rivera pitch. So for them, it's a special moment as well.
He burst upon the scene in 1995 as a starter. Moved to the bullpen, and he was one of those players that if Buck Showalter knew what he had in that playoff series against the Seattle Mariners, Buck might have the 4 World Series rings instead of Joe Torre. He might win the World Series that year. But he let David Cone go 130 some odd pitches and then brought in Rivera after the game was tied, and they ended up going to Jack McDowell in game 5. But if he had gone before that, nobody knew if this young kid could be that great. They knew he had talent, but so many lives would have changed if they did in fact know what they had. Missed outside. So a rare walk. So he comes to the Yankees big league club in '95. And what happened in the world back then? A gallon of how great would that be? $1.15, stamp 32 cents. I don't think there was email then. Was there email yet? Nope.
No.
Forrest Gump Best Picture.
Run, Forrest, run.
Streets of Philadelphia by Springsteen was the Grammy Song of the Year. And the #1 show, Seinfeld. And also Jeter, Pettit, Posada also made their major league debuts. Jack, you've been covering baseball a long time for the New York Times, now for us here at Yes. Have you ever met anybody like this guy?
No, I tell people that all the time, that not only for what he does on the field, but how gentlemanly he is, how everyone respects, reveres, even idolizes this guy. And we've all talked about it, doing it basically with one pitch. And the journey that he has taken baseball-wise, I'm not sure he would have ever thought about it as a kid growing up in Panama, playing with a broomstick as the bat and a cardboard box as the glove. And it really is an amazing story, and to have been able to cover him along this ride, I mean, we should all feel privileged that we got the opportunity to watch this guy up close.
I don't know if there's any player in baseball has the respect of his peers as Mariano does. You know, every other team, every other manager, coaching staffs, and the players on the team are well aware of who's sitting out in that Yankee bullpen over the years, and they know if they didn't have the lead by the 8th inning, they weren't going to get it back. 90% career success rate for Mo in save opportunities.
Revere fouls it off. I thought Joel Sherman had a very telling line in one of his columns when Mo was about to announce that he would retire. He said, pretty much everybody in baseball, no matter how good a guy they are, you could always find somebody somewhere, go off the record and rip them. Not like him. Even a guy like Jeter because of jealousy. But I don't think that you could not find a person off the record even to say anything bad about Mariano Rivera. Grounded up the middle, there's one. And they double up the speedy Revere.
But we have seen 2 of the faster runners in baseball doubled up in the last couple of innings. First Ichiro for the Yankees, then Ben Revere. He's on a ride down to first base, but it's going to end in failure here. A nice flip. It's Velasquez now at shortstop, and he turns this one over.
There's Michael Young. And all of his stats, you know, the 608 saves, we know that. But I think you really have to look at the playoff stats. I mean, he's playing the best teams in baseball then. He has an under 1 ERA and 42 saves. Those are alarmingly good.
Ridiculous numbers, Michael, when you think about it. No other pitcher even has half as many saves as he has in the postseason. Just silly numbers. 141 innings pitched, 110 strikeouts, all those appearances, and he's been the difference for some. When you look at those World Series championships, the Yankees have 5. Kenny and I talked about this the day of the press conference. How many of them do they get if they didn't have Mariano Rivera? Maybe they do get all 5. Maybe they don't. I mean, you wonder how big an edge he gave the Yankees by being out there in that bullpen.
And he has not gone without failure. I mean, he failed in 2001. He failed in 2004. He failed in 1997. And still the numbers are off the chart great. And I asked him what was the toughest failure. And he said it was the World Series. He said, you know, you're 3 outs away in a World Series that we should not have won. He said we were so outplayed in some of the games. He said, and we couldn't win in Arizona. Strike 3. Michael Young, who's faced Mo plenty of times. He is down looking. There's young Mariano Rivera. And there's Mo after his record-setting 602nd save. And there he is, getting a standing ovation. Better get used to this. He's going to see it throughout Major League Baseball, even if it's against somebody else's team. Well, everybody should just remain standing because we're going to honor America here with God Bless America. And why don't we listen to public address announcer Paul Olden.
Has over 14 years of service as a helicopter pilot stationed on board the aircraft carrier USS Abraham Lincoln during Operation Enduring Freedom. Lieutenant Commander Kerr is presently stationed at MacDill Air Force Base as part of the United States Special Operations Command. Let's have a warm round of applause for Lieutenant Commander Kerr and all the brave men and women all over the world making sacrifices for our country. Thank you. And now, ladies and gentlemen, please remain standing and remove your caps and join in Kate Smith's rendition of God Bless America. Thank you.
America's freshest lineup is here.
Travis Hafner leads off here in the bottom of the 7th inning, and he's got a 2-0 count from Chad Durbin. We've got a 4-0 Philly lead on the Ford scoreboard. Hafner's 0 for 2 today, and he lofts that one into shallow left center. Dominic Brown will make the play for the first out. Let's check out the game summary brought to you by Delta. 4 runs in the 4th inning for the Phillies. That's pretty much the scoring. Corona went 6 hits, 4 runs. 2 of them earned because of a Velasquez error. Brown with a 3-run home run following the error. And Mariano had his 1 inning of work, walked 1 and struck out 1. Got a double play as well. A year ago today, something big happened, right, Jack?
Absolutely. Andy Pettitte came back to the Yankees. We had that story on Yes that day that Andy Pettitte was coming out of retirement, and had a little fun with Andy today. I asked him what happened a year ago, and you know what? He could not remember.
Really?
That's for us. That's for sports journalists to remember those days. He kind of laughed and he said, I guess it's a big day. And I said, does it feel like a year? And he said, it feels longer. And I agree with him. It feels like Andy Pettitte almost didn't ever leave. And he came back and he fit right in again. And even though he only made 12 starts last year, big presence around the Yankees last year and again this year.
Bosch pops it up behind the plate. And that'll make the screen.
What I remember about that day, we were getting ready to do our open here, and Jack comes running over. Everything's different. We got to change it. And so I just said, take it away, Jack. And he broke the news that Andy Pettitte was coming back. So, yeah, that was a big day.
Hey, how about Brian Cashman earlier talking about Brennan Bosch? He told Meredith Morakovich that Bosch is, quote, I wrote this down, a big hairy monster. He said, I like those guys in my lineup.
I think he said that about Hafner, too. And I think he thinks at Yankee Stadium, those are the guys who are going to do some damage.
So 2-away as Bosch strikes out. That's going to bring up Gardner. And Gardner today, 1 for 2. And you see a little bit more of an aggressive approach from him, Jack.
Michael, he's a guy who's always had the plate discipline. But a couple years back, he saw 4.6 pitches per plate appearance, which is the most anybody had since the late 80s. And he just said he wants to be a little more aggressive. He's not going to let first pitch fastballs go by, for instance, to get a 5 or 6 pitch at bat. If he sees something, he wants to attack it more.
The first day I saw him in spring training taking batting practice this year, it was quite obvious that he was locked in.
So is Dominic Brown. He's pretty locked in. He's made 2 nice plays out in left field. So the Yankees go down in order 1, 2, 3. Jack, we thank you. As always, we're coming back for the 8th inning. Dominic Brown makes the dive and the catch. 4-0 Phils. Today's Game on Yes is brought to you in part by your tri-state area Volkswagen dealers. Visit VWDealer.com. That's a nice landing. 4-0 Phillies over the Yanks. New Yankee pitcher is David Aardsma. And he deals a strike. 3 games for Aardsma. And he's dealing to Pete Orr.
Aardsma at one time was the closer for the Seattle Mariners. Yankees signed him, and eventually he was covered for Tommy John surgery. Now, this year, spring training with a chance to make the team.
And he strikes out Orr as the putout is made 2-3. Hey, the Yankees have launched Yankees Ticket Exchange, the official resale marketplace of the Yankees, and Yankees.com. It's a safe, secure, and convenient way for fans to buy and resell Yankees tickets. Now, for more information, you got to visit Yankees.com/ticket exchange. Here's Ryan Howard. And Charlie Manuel, the Phillies manager, and Howard probably agree. Listen, I'm going to make the 30-minute ride from Clearwater. Let me play the whole game. Let me get my at-bats in.
Well, since 2006, Ryan Howard has the most home runs and the most runs batted in the major leagues. A run producer.
And that's after missing about half the season last year.
Some of the longest home runs, too. And one thing that makes him a home run hitter, particularly dangerous in Philadelphia. Philadelphia is a home run hitting ballpark, and he's got great power to the opposite field. I think a couple of years ago he hit more opposite field homers than anybody in baseball, and it's primarily because fences are very reachable in Philadelphia. Although I don't think the home run he hit off Mike Messina in Philly that day,
that could have gone out of Yellowstone
oh
Park.
my goodness.
It's strange, though, Kenny. You see how the Yankees shift for him, like a lot of teams shift for Mark Teixeira. So he has great power the other way, but only goes the other way in the air. He never goes on the ground. So they feel that they could shift in the infield.
Yeah, you look at the infield shift, but then you look at the outfield shift, and the center fielder, Flores, is actually a few steps towards left center field. So if he hits it on the ground, he's going to pull it. In the air, he'll go the other way.
Ryan Howard walks. You see shifts and things like that, and people play spray charts, and they see things like that all the time. And this one, you really had no shift for this in the World Series in 2009. As he goes the other way off Andy Pettit, and Andy could not believe it.
He didn't get many hits that World Series, if I remember correctly. Pinch runner.
So Howard's day is done. Inciarte will pinch run. You know, we had a dinner a couple of days ago with all the Yes people, and I happened to be lucky enough to sit next to Lou Piniella. And he was telling great stories about his theories on hitting, and he said, you look up and down the lineup and you know exactly how to pitch somebody. And I said, well, what do you mean? He said, if a guy is a 320 hitter, then you know you don't pitch him away. He said, because good hitters go the other way. That's how they pile up high averages. He said, if it's a guy who hits 250 or lower, he's turning on inside pitches. Those are the guys you want to pitch away.
Mm-hmm.
You buy into that?
Well, Lou was the type of hitter who was closer to 320.
Right.
And Lou could hit the ball all over the field. Lou was particularly dangerous when he had 2 strikes because he was willing to go the other way. And I can see his point. Definitely see his point. The guy hits for a lower average.
He's pulling the ball.
He's looking for home runs.
Right.
Yeah. But he also might garner a few more strikeouts.
And we talked about this with Paul O'Neill yesterday, and Paul disagreed. Another thing that Lou said, he said every hitter is a guess hitter.
Lou said that?
He said every hitter, he said if you're a good hitter, you have to be a guess hitter. He said you have to, he said there's no way you can adjust to the pitches that pitchers throw. And O'Neill said, well, I found that I could adjust. If I sat fastball, I could adjust off speed. He said, I don't think you could go the other way. Did you guess?
No. One thing being a switch hitter, that means the breaking balls are always coming into you.
Mm-hmm.
And
runner goes. Throw to second. Inciarte is gunned down. Good throw.
So Inciarte wasn't out there long after running for Ryan Howard. Chris Stewart on the money. Velasquez with the tag. And that's it. That's Marty Foster at the second base umpire. Watching it glove down. Gone. That is to it. No, I didn't guess. Mm-hmm. And I think the league knew I was a good breaking ball hitter. Dominic Brown hit by a pitch here. And so consequently, I wouldn't completely erase that from my mind on every pitch because pitchers who are great pitchers like Ron Guidry had a good slide. He was going to throw it because he knew it was tough to hit. But the other guys had those mediocre pitches that they wouldn't throw them. So to me, I look fastball every pitch and adjust it like O'Neill did. The pitchers who gave me troubles are the ones who had pretty good fastball and a very good changeup because that gets you in between. And those are the guys who gave me trouble.
There's Lance Nix with a runner on first. And he pops it up. Battling the sun and making the play is Eduardo Sosa for the final out of the 8th. No runs, no hits. 1 man left. We go to the bottom of the 8th. Phillies up 4-0. Bosch, the newest Yankee, was 0 for 3 in his debut, and Meredith Marakovitz caught up with him outside the Yankee clubhouse.
Thanks, Michael. I'm joined by the newest Yankee, Brennan Bosch. Brennan, first of all, coming in here today, walking into that clubhouse, how different was that for you? I know you said earlier Detroit's the only place I've ever known.
Yeah, it's a unique experience. Keep saying it's like the first day of school all over again. getting to know the kids in school and the new, my new teammates. But what a feeling to walk in and have a Yankees jersey waiting for me. I think every kid would dream of that.
You look at Wednesday, obviously released by the Tigers, Friday signed by the Yankees. What was that whole experience like for you? It had to be a little bit of an emotional whirlwind.
Yeah, I mean, knew change was probably coming for me, and I kind of welcomed a fresh start. And, to be picked up by the Yankees, this is the team I wanted to go to, and to end up here is a perfect situation for me. This organization is great.
How much did you know about the injury situation here and the fact that there might be an outfield space available, or there might be room there for you to compete for a position?
Well, I guess I kind of left that up to my representation. I just play baseball, and I kind of like it that way. But obviously, I'm not really paying attention to what's going on around me, but I'm just trying to do my job the best I can.
What was your initial reaction when you heard that the Yankees were in fact interested and that they wanted to sign you?
Oh, it was great. I mean, I think it's going to be a great fit for me. Obviously, I got a lot to prove, and I'm ready to do that, ready to show New York and everybody what I'm all about.
You mentioned that you have a lot to prove, not a ton of time left in spring. How do you make sure that you don't put too much pressure on yourself to kind of prove that you can be an asset to this team?
Well, you just got to relax and play your game with the time that you have. I've competed against the Yankees, so hopefully they have kind of an idea of my game, but the bottom line is I'm here to produce, and I'm here to help the Yankees win.
Brennan, thanks for the time.
You're welcome. Thanks.
Send it back to you, Michael.
Well, thank you, Brennan, and thank you, Meredith, as well. So the newest Yankee, as we mentioned, 0 for 3, but he's going to have an opportunity here. There's a spot in the outfield open maybe for the first 40 games of the year until Curtis Granderson comes back. And as Joe Girardi said earlier, Kenny, not necessarily is it going to be a platoon situation. You can take that job if you do a good job. And you see Stutz, who's pitching now, his numbers this spring, he actually hits lefties fairly well.
When he first came up with the Tigers, he was more or less an everyday player. Once he proved to Jimmy Leyland he could hit, wanted to keep him in the lineup.
So far this inning, you saw Stewart pop up, and then Bobby Wilson struck out against Stutz. And here's Walter Ibarra. He singled his first time up. Ground ball up the middle. Diving stop there by Betancourt. But he has no throw. So Ibarra will reach on an infield single. And that's going to bring up Zoilo Almonte.
Ibarra gets in the ball game, gets himself a couple of hits, keeps the inning going. Almonte's opened up some eyes. He's had a couple of home runs this spring.
Pitch outside to Almonte.
Well, I said he had a couple of home runs, and the official stats of spring training do not include the games that the Yankees and the other teams played against the WBC teams.
Okay.
But he did hit a home run against the Dominican Republic. So that's how come I said 2 home runs this spring.
And the stats said 1.
Yeah.
Well, we knew you were right. You're never wrong with that stuff.
Yeah, sometimes. What's today?
Saturday all day.
All right, okay. Here's the home run. It doesn't count. We did the game against the Dominican Republic. There it is.
Wait, that game was on yes, right?
Yeah,
so then it counts.
It counts for him.
Absolutely. There's a strike. And a strike again.
Well, let's see. Close. Now, Michael, do you believe that certain hitters get better calls than others?
Yeah, reputation calls.
Most definitely that happens. And that can really work in spring training games.
Runner goes. Fouled away. I think in all sports, I believe in basketball, you get reputation calls.
You get the fouls called or not called.
Yep.
Football, holding calls or not.
Holding calls against offensive linemen with better reputations, you probably don't get them. Ibarra certainly getting in his work. Running wise at first base, he'll go again. And he'll have to go again. Runner goes again. And there's strike 3. So Stutz works the scoreless 8th. No runs a hit. 1 man left. We take it to the 9th. It's 4-0 Phils. Smith and the Hawks to Barclays Center. Coverage on Yes starts at 7:30 with the Verizon Fios pregame. Then Ryan Rucco and Jim Spinarco have all the action from Brooklyn, only on Yes. Sean Kelly is a new Yankee pitcher as he tries to hold it right here at 4-0 Phils.
What I understand, the Nets are only 1 game behind the Knicks.
That is true.
Knicks are kind of hurting right now, some injuries.
It has not been good. But Sean Kelly's been good.
No, I was going to say, look at those numbers.
Got a good slider.
It's better than good.
Got a great slider.
Yeah.
Grounded foul. We have a completely different Yankee defense than the one we started with earlier. So every single starter is out. Wilson takes over for Stewart behind the plate. Good slider and a 94-mile-an-hour fastball. That's a pretty good combination. Good pickup by Brian Cashman.
As a reliever, that's all you need. Get through that 1 inning or so.
Popped up. Shallow center. And Flores makes the play.
Monday, Brooklyn Nets head coach P.J. Carlesimo sits down with Michael Kay for a new GMC Presents Center Stage. The sideline general discusses his long coaching career from Seton Hall and the Dream Team to his storied years in the NBA. It's a new Center Stage Monday at 10:30, only on Yes. Can we get a preview?
Line by Betancourt to left field. It is a base hit. It gets past Sosa and goes to the wall. And Betancourt has had a good day, 3 for 4. And the one time he made out, he lined out to first base.
Here's a pitch before we get the preview from Michael Kay. That's a fastball about letter high. And remember, Betancourt in his days with Seattle, very rarely did he draw base on balls. He's up there the hack. And he gets something to his liking there, rips it into the corner. So PJ was
really good. And also, a lot of people don't realize that he was the assistant, one of the assistants to Chuck Daly for the original Dream Team. He told a story about how the whole Dream Team came to his parents' house in New Jersey and had a barbecue. And then they had to get police there because people started to find out Michael Jordan and Larry Bird and Magic Johnson were there, and they had to seal off the whole street. But PJ's had a really interesting career, and we talk about the Latrell Sprewell incident, you know, his college coaching days at Seton Hall. So it's a good show.
The original Dream Team, the greatest basketball team ever assembled.
Well, this Dream Team said that a lot of people said that this Dream Team this year could be, and I asked PJ, said not even close. He said not even close.
No.
Swing and a miss. I think that backswing got Bobby Wilson.
Yeah, I thought I heard a sound like it might have been the helmet. Remember the days that catchers didn't wear helmets behind the plate? Ooh. Back in the day, catchers must have been a little bit more hard-headed.
High drive, right field. Almonte back, track, wall. See ya. A home run for Steven LaRude. And the Phillies now lead 6-0. So 5 of the 6 runs for the Phillies have come via the home run. A 3-run shot by Dominic Brown, and that one by LaRude.
Well, LaRude's best swing of the day, and this one is tagged. Middle of the plate. Almonte back to the wall. No chance.
John Mayberry Jr. takes outside. Was that breaking pitch we're talking about?
Remember a few years ago at Yankee Stadium, pitches fouled off out of play. Mayberry Jr.'s first major league hit came at Yankee Stadium, and he got a brand name. It was a home run off Andy Pettitte. Remember, John Sr. was there that day. He would hit his share of home runs.
Some of them against the Yanks.
Oof.
Grounded up the middle and grabbed there by Ibarra, and he turns a single into an out. Nice play by Ibarra.
Ranging far to his left, the spin move, 360 on the money with the throw to Burton for the out. Mayberry Jr. out on a nice play by the shortstop, Walter Ibarra.
Here's Freddie Galvis And he lost one to left field deep. Going back, Sosa still back. It's going to be over his head and roll to the wall. So Galvis picks up a double with 2 outs.
You know, when a player like Galvis hits a ball like this and it gets over an outfielder's head, first thing I do is look at the flags and see which way the wind's blowing. The wind is blowing out. And this ball gets over Sosa's head, got up in the breeze, and just kept carrying. Sosa on the move, and this ball's going to land just in front of the warning track, and Galvis has himself a 2-base hit. When you're an outfielder and you see that there's 2 outs, play a little deeper. You don't want the ball go over your head. It's an extra base hit.
Orr takes the ball. That one is driven deep to right center field. And that ball is off the top of the wall. Or around second. He's going to go to third. He's got himself a triple, and the Phillies have themselves another run. Kelly is getting crushed this inning.
Pete Orr. All the Phillies need is a single, and they've hit for the cycle in this inning, including a couple of doubles. And the problem for Kelly, all these pitches have been up. And Flores can't come up with it, plays it off the wall. 2 doubles, a triple, and a home run this inning for the Phillies.
This copyrighted telecast presented by authority of the New York Yankees and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the New York Yankees. Inciardi fouls it back against Kelly. Count 1-2. That one he got him on the change of speed because that was a pitch that was up in the zone. That's why he swung through it. Not a great pitch. Foul back.
We were talking about that split squad game today, and it's going to be David Phelps who's going to pitch over against the Braves.
He's pitched very well.
Yes, he has. Ivan Nova gets to start tomorrow.
Also pitched well.
Yeah. Giving up 1 run in 9 innings this spring. Phelps has given up 1 run in 14 innings this spring.
After this game, Girardi will probably get in the car. I don't think he'll take the bus because the players that are playing right now,
they're already there.
Yeah. And it's about, what would you say, an hour and a half to Disney from here?
I don't think it's
a little less.
A little less than that.
Okay. So it's not that small a world, after all.
I've been on that ride.
Have you?
Not lately.
I don't think he's going to take a plane there. Popped up. Ibarra will make the play, and that will do it. But 3 runs on 4 loud hits, 1 man left. Yankees will try to rally in the 9th.
Brought to you by Jeep. And back in the 4th inning, the Phillies found out what Brown could do for them. This is Dominic Brown, a 3-run home run, and that put the Phillies out in front 3-0. They since have added 4 more runs and lead 7-0. And that's our Jeep play of the game.
So Joe Girardi's team is down 7-0. And the new pitcher is Jake Diekman. Here's Maruzak. Pitch up and away. A lot of action this spring, 7 games. Yankees are 8-12 for the spring. And the Phillies are 8-11 and 1 tie.
Diekman appeared in 32 games last year for the Phillies, went 1-1. Kind of a problem with his control. 20 walks and 27 in the 3rd innings. But he also had 35 strikeouts.
There's a strike.
Kind of slings the ball up to the plate.
I didn't want to look up at the sun. How you doing?
After that home run by Brown that we just saw, it's just a reminder how one play can turn a game around. And that was the double play ball that should have been turned. And Brown shouldn't have got a chance to hit. He gets up, 3-run homer.
Got some decisions to make before April 1st. Who's going to play first? Who's going to be the outfielder that replaces Granderson? Who's going to catch? Grounded to second or to Nix. And there's one away.
Fans, just a reminder, Wednesday afternoon with opening day fast approaching, the Yankees take on the Red Sox in another spring training contest. That's right here at Steinbrenner Field. Complete coverage on Yes starts at 1 when Lou Piniella joins me for all the action only on Yes.
Here's Luke Merton. Crowd of 10,943 paid their way into Steinbrenner Field. That's a sellout on a beautiful Saturday afternoon. Line drive, base hit. So a single for Merton. And that's going to bring up Rob Segedin to pinch hit for the DH Travis Hapner. Hitless in 5 at bats so far this spring.
Seen Segedin primarily at third base when he's had an opportunity to play in the field.
Segedin was one of the players that actually hit against Mariano in his first simulated game of the spring. And Mariano pumped a fastball in there, and Segedin took it, and he stepped up and he said, "They're all going to be strikes. You might as well swing."
In other words, I'm not out of here playing around.
That's right. I'm not nibbling. Fouled away.
Second, was actually born in Old Tappan, New Jersey, but now lives in Palm Beach, Florida. Out of Tulane University.
Fly ball. Deep left center. Mayberry runs it down. And the Yankees are down to their final out.
Look at these two managers and the teams. Each the contenders in their respective divisions. Charlie Manuel with the Phillies. Phillies have had 10 consecutive seasons where they've been 500 or better. There's only one team better record than that.
Yankees?
It's the Yankees. 20 years. 500 or better. So two franchises that are used to winning.
The 0-1 to Sosa. Now 0-2. And Diekman deals. Count 2-2. It's been all Phillies. 7-0. Yankees did have to like what they saw out of Kuroda. He kind of got unnerved in that inning after the error. He's supposed to pick up his guy, but he didn't that day or this day. But in the other innings, he pitched very, very well. And he's had a good spring. And now the Yankees have also seen Andy Pettit on the mound against competition. CC Sabathia yesterday against competition. They've seen all of their prospective starters except for Phil Hughes, and Phil still trying to come back from the injured back. Holding out hope that he'll be ready for the first time through the rotation. But time is running short, Kenny. It's going to be tough.
You know, I think one thing that works in the Yankees' favor is that both Phelps and Nova are pitching so well. So they kind of have that covered, even if Hughes is not ready. And usually in the beginning of the season, you know it, Michael, you get a lot of weather days where you just can't play. And the Yankees' first road trip is to Detroit and Cleveland. Those aren't exactly, it's not Palm Beach. Let's put it that way.
Runner goes, pitch outside, so the Yankees still alive as Sosa works a walk.
Now, it could be wrong. It could be a mild spring, but it usually those cities, we've seen it in the past. Didn't Seattle go to Cleveland a couple years ago? Didn't play a game. Got snowed out, yeah.
Well, one Yankee player talking to me off the record, he said, really, who makes the schedule? He said, the Yankees open in Yankee Stadium and then go to Detroit and Cleveland. That doesn't make sense. You're almost asking for rainouts. And with the way the schedule breaks down, those are the only two times they're going to Detroit and Cleveland. So if there are rainouts, you're going to have to make them up somewhere on off days down the line. And the Yankees were winning championships, Kenny, if you remember, in 96, 98, 99, 2000. A lot of those years they started the season on the West Coast.
Yeah, I do remember those. Yeah, you remember those?
I remember those. Another big issue with the scheduling this year, Kenny, why would you have the Yankees and the Mets open at home at the same time? And then not only open at home the same day, but open at the same time.
Yeah.
Why? Have one start at 1, one at 4. The 2-0. There's a strike, 2-1. 3-1 to Ramon Flores. First and second, 2 outs. Bottom of the ninth. Yankees down 7-0. And now the count is full. That'll release the runners. Got somebody warming up. If this gets out of hand, they'll go to Cesar Jimenez. The 3-2. Missed, and the bases are loaded.
Now, we told you that Diekman had a problem with control. And Charlie Manuel's just seeing if there's some way he can get a final out here. Pitching coach Rich Doobie out to the mound. He's probably telling him, we've already started up the bus.
And it shows you Diekman's not out there nibbling. Can't throw a strike. You know you can't hit a 7-run home run. He's trying to throw the ball over the plate, but the pitches move.
Charlie's talking to himself.
Here's Reggie Corona. And the pitch high. I said Reggie, it's Reggie. I apologize.
There's only one Reggie.
I think there's only one Reggie.
Yeah.
Bases loaded with the Yankees. 1-1 count. Down to their final strike. Bases loaded. 2 outs. Bottom of the ninth inning. 7-0 Phillies. Diekman deals. Popped up. Shallow center. And Orr makes the play, and that will do it. So the Yankees lose this one 7-0. In the bottom of the ninth, no runs ahead, no errors, and 3 men left on base. Orr goes back. And that is the ball game. We'll be back to wrap things up right here on Yes. You come back with us.